The importance of listening to Jesus when he warns of Satanism cannot be overstated. As followers of Christ, it is essential to understand the spiritual warfare that surrounds us and the role that Satan plays in it. Jesus, being the Son of God and the ultimate authority on spiritual matters, provides us with valuable insights and warnings about the dangers of Satanism. By listening to his warnings, we can protect ourselves from the evil influences of Satan and live a life that is pleasing to God. In the Bible, Jesus warns us about the presence of Satan and his minions who seek to lead us astray from the path of righteousness. In Matthew 13:25, Jesus tells us that while men sleep, the enemy sows wheat among the wheat. This parable illustrates how Satan operates, often subtly and stealthily, to bring about destruction and chaos in our lives. By listening to Jesus' warnings, we can be aware of the enemy's tactics and take necessary precautions to avoid his traps. One of the primary ways that Satan operates is through deception. He is a master of disguise and can present himself as an angel of light, making it difficult for us to discern what is true and what is false. In 2 Corinthians 11:14, the Apostle Paul warns us that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, and his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. By listening to Jesus' warnings, we can be aware of Satan's deceptive tactics and not be fooled by his lies. Jesus also warns us about the dangers of idolatry, which is a form of Satanism. In Matthew 4:8-10, Jesus is tempted by Satan, who offers him all the kingdoms of the world if he will worship him. Jesus responds by saying that we must worship God alone and serve him only. This encounter highlights the danger of idolatry, which is the worship of anything or anyone other than God. By listening to Jesus' warnings, we can avoid the trap of idolatry and remain faithful to God. Furthermore, Jesus warns us about the importance of spiritual discernment. In Matthew 7:15-20, Jesus tells us to beware of false prophets who come to us in sheep's clothing but are actually wolves. He says that we will know them by their fruits, and that a good tree cannot bear bad fruit. By listening to Jesus' warnings, we can develop spiritual discernment and be able to distinguish between what is true and what is false. In addition to these warnings, Jesus also provides us with the armor of God, which is essential for protecting ourselves from the evil influences of Satan. In Ephesians 6:10-18, the Apostle Paul writes that we must put on the whole armor of God, including the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, and the helmet of salvation. By listening to Jesus' warnings and putting on the armor of God, we can be confident that we are prepared to face the enemy and overcome his attacks. In conclusion, listening to Jesus when he warns of Satanism is of utmost importance. By being aware of the dangers of Satan's influences, we can protect ourselves from his evil traps and live a life that is pleasing to God. Jesus' warnings provide us with valuable insights into the spiritual warfare that surrounds us, and by listening to him, we can develop spiritual discernment, avoid the dangers of idolatry, and put on the armor of God. As followers of Christ, it is essential that we take Jesus' warnings seriously and be vigilant in our spiritual walk, always remembering that we are not alone in this battle, but have the power of God on our side. By doing so, we can overcome the evil influences of Satan and live a life that is victorious in Christ.